Hello and welcome. It is Velfe Knight. So, we're we're going to be doing a short little upload video here. So, this is on Carousel's RS 120 ARGB fans. Comes with three. The third one is in here. I only put two because I ran into an issue. Um, one of the biggest issues with this, the screws they provide are the mini ones to hook to a case, not long screws. There was no 8 long screws in here, so it kind of kept me from doing what I needed to do. So, uh, so over here, you got the fan, right? All it is 20, 40, big or wide. So we got daisy chaining here, right? These daisy chains are so fucking short, Carousel. How the fuck are you supposed to daisy chain cases like this? So you see the fan in the rear, then you see the fan down here, right? I'm using the long cord going there to the side all the way up to that one. Originally, I had planned for all three of these fans, one to be on the rear, two underneath the graphics card, and then under here, I was going to get another one. But for the time being, I would put one of the old stock fans I had bought previously, which was the one of it was 1400 RPMs. Was for my O case. I bought these two. I bought two of these because my old case came with two, which were only 3-pin, and these were 4-pin versions of those same ones that were in the case. I was just gonna put it down here temporary until I got it replaced with another one. This board supports 3 RGBs, 3 pins for the RGB, and then a bunch of system fans throughout here. So the goal was to daisy chain those 3 fans into one of the areas, which I did. I have it chained in number 2, third port. I really wanted to connect that rear one. Well, actually, when you daisy chain, it don't really matter if you connect it to the second fan, the rear port doesn't really matter. Yeah, I can't use this one because it's too short. When I was trying to daisy chain them up there, up here, where you see that little GPU support bracket, right? The case has one built in. Sadly, the graphic Titan card I have is dual fan. It doesn't go long enough to etch it, so I'm using the bot. And I took it out. I was putting the fans there, and I realized I don't have the long screw. All I have is the short screws, and they only provided the short screw. It really fucked my whole thing up. I was gonna install it the way how I wanted it today. Can get the screws out, but let me a second. And I double checked in the box just to be sure. These are the screws they provide. Only these. Let's see here. 3, 4, 7. That's 7 total. I already counted the one in my hand. 7 total. Then the remaining ones I have is 8, 9, 10, 11. So about 11 screws. Hey, is that correct? Oh, hold on. My math is terrible right now in my head. Oh, sorry, we skipped a screw. Should have been 12 because it's 4 for each. One's just stuck back here, but yeah, 12. So there are 12, not 11. My bad. One was hiding box right here. Probably can't see it. It was there. I have them in here for the time being. I need to get me a place to put these screws for where it came with 2 cords for RGB and the fans for wrap up. Like they act as long single cord plugs. They provided 2. It doesn't make sense why they didn't provide 3 because how are you going to chain this up? I was hoping to put the fan in the case like this and go around the slot column, because where you see there's a column there. I was going to put them there, connect them that way. They would have worked that way for daisy chaining. But if I'm doing the rear daisy chaining, I'm going to have to switch one of them. So that wouldn't work. So if I'm going to get the RGB on the rear, that wouldn't work. Because then I have to go up. I have to go up with a cord. So I would have to put that fan kind of like looking like this, going upward over to the side column with the long cord connecting the. But then the other one can't connect to daisy chain off it, which is stupid because then you would have to use two sets to daisy chain it. But then that would just create a conflict. So that wasn't working. So Carousel, you guys suck at planning, table managing what you these things. Maybe you should just make these daisy chain cords longer than needed. Like for the fan. Look at that. It's so short. How are you gonna plug that short little baby cord in? Come on. That should have been long. The same standard length as this. Look at that. Look at that length for that 4-pin plug-in. Tell me you couldn't make the cord that damn long, or at least provide another cord. There should have been three of those cords, not two. So you got this. You plug it in. That's the set. Plug these in, and you connect them for your daisy chain, and you do the same. You rinse and repeat. You just be left with one that's not plugged in really, and then that connects to the motherboard somewhere. So yeah, that kind of fucked up my whole plans. So Carousel, and everything I have is Carousel's desktop case, power supply, fans. I said power supply and stuff. So yeah, pretty much everything's like Carousel related here. So I'm trying to keep all those other ones separate so I don't get those mixed up. But yeah. So that plan went down the drain. And they only provided like these small screws. So, and I need the long versions because if I'm pinning the fans here, you need a longer one. Screw them down into the thing that's where the power supply is. Right above the power supply, this little bay here has screw holes, and I need the long versions, which is the same ones used by the radiator. And I only have one set of those extra 4 screws because the radiator came with an extra 4 in case maybe one of the other 4 got messed up, which they didn't because it's a dual fan radiator. So I had 4 extra sets from those. That's how I ended up with one extra set. I was looking around like, wait, maybe there was more, and I checked, there wasn't. So could have provided at least. You're going to provide 12 of these smaller screws. You should have provided 12 of the long ones. That's the possibility. Because look. So I'm going to have to order. I'm going to have to hope that once I order will work good enough for this case and stuff. The radiator fans are 1400 RPM as well, but all the other fans are 21 RPM. I could switch the radiator fans out for the much stronger airflow versus the other ones, but I didn't because I plan on getting rid of this radiator. AIO and upgrade it to a different one. This was my first one from Carousel. It's one of their old ones. They discontinued. I was gonna switch this out for a new one, and I'm not sure which one from Carousel, or I might just go to a different company. But I want to stay with the ecosystem for Carousel because I love the brand name and I love their products. As the products are fucking expensive, especially on the RGB, non-RGB ones. It's kind of weird Once they discontinue these, the RGB versions of these are what you see here, and they're more expensive. These were like $20 a piece. So I plan ahead keeping one in, technically at the bottom right here, or maybe the rear. So I wanted the rear to be stronger to pull out heat faster, bottom to pull in air better. So I'll get one more extra fan box. I don't know if that's going to come with a cord or not, but I'm going to order some extra cords that will work. It's kind of hard to think of the possibilities on that. So, because look, this is my first PC build. Well, it's been like I had this PC. I changed to this brand new case. Yourself the 35. Well, actually the X3500. I love this case because it's glass and everything. Oh yeah, and by the way, I pulled the stickers off the other case to put them on here. My slime here. By the way, they're generous. Still slime wise, but anyway, that's besides the point. The goal was to get this case because I wanted a different case because I wanted the thing here not in the front because front seemed to get so much when I cleaning and stuff. But if they're on the side, less hassle and pain. Plus, it's much easier to clean. Plus, you can see inside all the time. Well, which looks so nice. I love being able to look inside. The top, really nice. And I already played with the. I use Armory Crate to control my fans. So, Aura Sync in there. Got Aura Sync here. I set them with my custom color of my models theme. They kind of look like a light blue, and then you can tell my speakers down there. It's another part of my model's color scheme. Blue and a little green there, like a yellowish green. So, and then the fans are controlled by the fan, four here. Of how this loads. And oh, by the way, I had to reinstall Armory Crate and reinstall a fresh copy panel. Got bugged somehow. That was the first time I ever encountered it. So as you can see, chassis fan 1 and 4 are not being used. It's because there's nothing plugged into those pin slots in the motherboard. All 3 fans plugged into. One of the 3 fans is plugged into chassis fan 3 is the 3 fans. Then the new ones are chassis fan 2. So 2 are the rear and the bottom. So for those last 2 chassis fans, if I use the stock basic fans to put down there, which won't be a good enough airflow off the chipset, and the reason why I want to put 2 fans there, help cool the chipset down more, because I noticed the chipset has actually went to 5 to 70. It's at 60 Celsius now because I at full speed earlier and cooling it down. I think when all the air's colliding and hitting the glass, it's going around the edges or so. I can feel some air from the top up here. It's not. You can see there's still extra headroom for a 360 radiator and probably a fan. It's just nothing there. So a fan could be placed up there, but I didn't place the fan up there. Um, I just want to get those last 2 case fans used, but which is going to be probably not possible. Up. So since this motherboard only supports 3 keys, if there's no way to do more RGB fans, unless I chain them up, and I don't know the maximum to chain up. So like 4 RGBs connected to the other 3 here, and then the other 2. So that would probably solve it. Um. So yeah, not real sure on that. The whole because daisy chaining does have limitations, so I don't want to push much. Um. So yeah, if you guys have tips, ideals on the daisy chaining extensions chords, please do let me know. And yeah, I know I could do probably a command little thing to control it, which I'll show here in a second. This out. Oh, love how it. Okay. Okay. So I got right here. I have a get three of these, right? It's a 3-pack by VFan. It's for PC fans and LED. It's enough length, but the problem is no way to connect for 3-pin, and I can't use 4-pin. If it won't work. So we're gonna just get an extra set of those to have necessary. Then we got here it's a 4 pin, and the 4 pin on the other, like the fan end. So that's pretty much what we got here. So, and it's 27 centimeters long, so that's more than enough length than what we need. Should be good because I think the other ones I plugged in were about so close to it. Definitely just so. And also, yeah, I have to get some long screws too. So get 30 about that for about $5.99. Short ones and long. So we're getting about 15 piece each, 30. And then I was also getting these to kind of hide the thicker of the power supply cords back there instead of having them up front. Because I tell you, getting them to fit through the shroud was a pain in the ass. So having these will might help push those into the back. I make it more junkier, but I also make it look. That's another thing. And then another extra one of those fans, 120. Then again, we could just get the 140 version underneath instead, between those two. But we won't have no place to plug them for RGB. There's three of them on this board. Not four, only three, sadly. I would mean getting a board that supports four. And the board does have a fourth one, but it has 4 pins. And that's for a different type of RGB setup, which we don't plan on using. So yeah, not left with many good choices. So, and I got a bunch of other stuff here. I got the 140s right here. These are much larger. They don't go to 21 RPM, but around 17 RPM, but they are more airflow efficient, getting more air. Is where the power supply sits, there is holes down by the power supply section, like little gateways, like what you see on this side here. Camera on. So let's turn this off for a sec. So on the side here, it has that like these things underneath where the power supply is, and half of it is filled. So we could definitely push some air in from that section because the power supply fan is below it. It's pulling air in too. Some air might come in through that small little gap and can come up and hit the GPU, those fans there, and hit the chipset. So this will create a much stronger positive flow of air to cool those chipsets down and to keep them, those chipsets from overheating and too hot. This is my armory crate, so keep that chipset here down. And it says 50 Celsius right there. That would help you keep it down much more. Because on the old case, it always stayed around about 45 to 55, but now it's gone higher because of this case type. We have the flow of air is moving. I have, I would have thought it would have did a little bit different when I was thinking. So, and I want to keep this chipset as cool as possible. You would think the chipset be cool because when the GPU fans, when it does kick on, wouldn't help keep it cooler, but it doesn't. fan's not constantly running right now. Barely using enough to make the fans come on. So yeah. You see how thick that power supply for the 24 pin is? I'm gonna put that back there and just have that extension cord plug in instead. Probably do the same for the CPU section too and the GPU section. Look how thick those cords are. So running those other cords would probably be a lot efficient. And they are what were those cords rated for? 16 AWG, more than enough current power to handle up to 1,000 watt power, 1,000 watt power supplies. When I was so we can handle GTX all the way up to RTX 5090s. So it's very strong and definitely worth being able to use something like that. Um, those are rated for 100 watts all the way to 1,300 watts max. So it can hold quite a bit of power, more than the 18. So the 16 AWG is what we want. So getting all these things is about $67 and 45 cents. So if anyone wants to help, you know, with tipping and donating to help me get some of these things, or me just waiting to get all this stuff here, please do help. It says your service and kindness will help me keep improving on this PC and stuff. And I'm hoping to also improve this the CPU to the 7600 to a 98 in here. I want to switch the board out for a powerful different board that's a little bit more because this board's like around $2 or so, or like the B 650, the replacement for this. Let me not jump the gun too quick here, guys. Yeah, this board is the B650 plus Wi-Fi Tough Gaming, and they have okay. It's probably I think I when I said the B earlier is the B85. That 200 is the name. That is the I think the newest version of the board. Check because I actually have Amazon. I was gonna switch brands, but I decided not to. Issues tough. I love the brand. Yeah, yeah. It's the B850 plus Wi-Fi. Go ahead and just show it. This is the board here. By the way, I did purchase another B650 because this one here was also acting up. Some of the issues kind of subsided a little bit. It does happen a little bit, not too much. But this would have been a good replacement for it. Plus, this is a lot more efficient. Um, but it uses Wi-Fi 7. I think it would not be able to. I think it would just default to Wi-Fi 6 again. Potential. It does have more USB slots that are in blue. Uh, so we have DP, HDMI, and the 10 USB back here, and then another 10 here. That's 3 of them, and then one 2.0. Well, actually, probably 2 of them. Probably 2.0, and 5 USBs here, which is just probably half the speed of the 10s, and a 20 for Type C. Files flashback button. So, and plus you just plug it in and out, so it's simple to take it out for the UI. I didn't scroll, which would have been nice. And so what the board looks like, what you get. I was gonna upgrade to this strip set because it looks like the heatsink on this might be a lot efficient and better than what I currently have on this one. Then again, this board has been giving me current, Wi-Fi disconnection, starting up from a cold or just restarting sometimes. or blue screen saying, "Oh, it's equal, not less than," page cache filing, which was like, well, it's not the RAM. I just reseated the RAM. The RAM is perfectly fine. I tested the RAM, so maybe it was the CPU having issues, memory controller degrading or something, because it's at 6,000 megahertz. So yeah, then again, it could just be because of the BIOS, because the memory is compatible with this board. It's just not able to use Expo. It's the moment I turn Expo on, that's when so many problems. Even with it off, it still has some problems, but it's lesser with it off than on. So if I turn it on, it's more problems. If it's off, it's less problems. So it is a good board. It's 12 plus 2 plus 2. The other board is like 14 plus 2 plus 1. So it's 80 amps. This is amps. So that's definitely an improvement there on those ROMs. So, but I want to tough it out with this board because I don't want to waste more money on a board when I'm going to upgrade the processor, because this processor can handle the 9800. It is just requiring me updating the BIOS stuff. So, require updating it for the latest. So here, well, in the issues I had with the so they're addressing boot potential failures and stability problems with certain Ryzen. Well, it's not with certain Ryzen 9. It's with pretty probably all their processors. This X7600 had problems with booting. I was like, well, it's not like I have the. So yeah, I was like, when I got all 3208 here, this is the current BIOS I'm on. I don't have any Windows issue problem booting or anything, but when I go on to this one or this one, I have problems. And I did try other ones, but those didn't fix it. But they did fix some other issues. When I was on this, it did fix some issues, device compatibilities and stuff. And then from here we see now memory controller does improvements. This might help fix my Expo problem, but I'm not willing to take the risk to update to here if it still has Windows boot issues and stuff. Not I'm sitting here like, what's going on? It does tend to happen when I start the system. I restart the system about twice or three times, depending, just to make sure all the issues are out, fresh out. So yeah, it's a pain. It is a pain. But anyway, this video's gone on for too long. So if you guys want to tip, help support me, go to Twitch or go to my Throne. Go to my PayPal. You can help support me with tips or donations. Um, to go towards getting this stuff. If not, I'm gonna have to save the fundings to get this extra fan and all this extra stuff, and then back here, um, and put those two fans there and those spots right there where I want. Yeah. By the way, most of these upgrades are out of my own pocket, expensive. So I would definitely appreciate help and support for those who really to sign in and if oh yeah, and if anyone like from big companies are watching, want to sponsor me to put different your product in here in this case, or even swap out this case again, or make a whole different separate system. I do have another processor laying around, just not another GPU or anything. Like I do have another CPU laying around, another 7600. Or if you want to send me a whole thing to build just from the ground up, I will do it. I would love to have more experience in building more systems and then uploading it. I wanted to record this system upgrade, but my phone doesn't have enough storage, so I was not able to do that or stream with it. Plus, um, it would be kind of hard to record it without picking up my family's voices in the background and always calling me for assistance and help. So that kind of so everything I do is pre-planned ahead of time to do it when they're not gonna call or bother. But yeah, I'm looking forward to try to build improve my current rig and probably make another one just for the laws of it. And then probably we can give that system away when in need. So any big companies who wants to sponsor me or help me, all that type of stuff, please hit me up at my email. For my email, it should be listed on my Twitch. If it's not, just reach out through Discord. My Discord is at Velfe or you can hit me up on Twitter at Velfe and hit me up in my DMs there too. So, thank you guys for tuning in, watching, and I'm sorry this went on longer than planned. 30 minutes, 30 seconds, probably counting right now. So until then, take care. Have a good day. Thank you for watching. Yeah.